Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. Happy Friday. I know I'm blanketed up right now. I feel like I'm Audrey from season 17. I'm on the block and I'm going home. So our house guests of the day are Laura Buffenmeyer, Jody Cortez, and Annabelle Anderson. Thank you all so much for your support. We really appreciate it, and we could not do this without you, so thank you so much. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below, or you can send us some physical mail like Annabelle. We love that. So thank you again. And before we get started, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our channel. So Jefferson Tucker, Jody Cortez, Mary Ellen L, Benjamin, Esther Rodriguez, Holly Roosh, Dawn MH302, and Divine Inspirations. Thank you all so much for your super chats yesterday. All right, so we have a lot to talk about today because we're actually playing Big Brother again. What? Who would have thought? So last night we saw the zombie twist finally came to an end. I know it was only a week, but it felt like forever. We saw Cameron decided to take his fate into his own hands, and he played in the do or die competition, and he won. So he is back in the game. His game has been resurrected, and Jared has been evicted. So that means we have one more eviction to go before the jury starts. Finally, we're going to make it. We're actually going to make it. So, before the episode ended, Julie also announced that everyone will get to play for HOH this week, including Corey, including Cameron. But the bad news is we didn't get to see the HOH competition on last night's episode. Got to wait until Sunday for that. Yay. At 10 o'clock, Yellowstone. So the feed stayed down after the episode ended until 10:34 Big Brother time. And we find out when the feeds came back that the HOH competition was some sort of a puzzle. Everybody was assuming that Corey and America were going to be amazing at it. They were not. Matt and Jag were close to winning, but Cameron won HOH. Oh my God. So this is his third HOH win. I think a lot of people are maybe hope or wishing that they had voted Cameron out when they had the chance multiple times. I mean, they did vote him out one time, right? But then Big Brother was like, no, we're going to bring back 1 million people and they're going to have the chance to stay again. So Cameron, with this win, has officially made it to jury. Maybe. No. According to what Julie's told us, he has officially made it to jury now. So, yeah, that's pretty big deal, right? So Corey, Jag, Matt, and Bowie are all chatting in the bathroom after the feeds come back. And Corey says, as long as things don't go off the rails, this is the best case scenario for this week, right? Cameron does his thing. He's been pushing that he wants Felicia out of here. So that's fine with all of us. So we get that out of the way. And then we all get to play for HOH next week, plus America as well. So that's 5 out of 8 people playing. And Corey says we have a great shot to win. Do they though? Because that's what we thought after Corey was part of that big flip, right? To take out Izzy. And then like everybody that was a part of that just like farted together during the HOH and they lost. So even though it looks like you have a great shot to win, do you really? Anyway, Corey says this week should be pretty straightforward, right? Matt feels like Cameron's going to stick to the plan, which again is to target Felicia. And Corey's like, yeah, I already talked to Cameron about it, like while the feeds were still down. And Cameron is solid to follow through on that plan. All right, so a little later, Blue and Cirie are chatting in the comics bedroom, 2 of Jared's nearest and dearest. I guess Blue is Cirie's #1 ally now. Okay, good luck. But Blue is crying. She's sad that Jared is gone. Cirie is comforting her. And I have to say, Cirie handling it like a pro, right? She is Jared's mother, and she's not the one crying here. So she's doing a really good job of like keeping it together. And after Blue is comforted, it doesn't take long for her to start trashing America. She's talking about how America was cheering for Cameron during the do or die competition, and Blue was so disgusted by it. Get a grip. And Blue and Cirie agree. if Corey was to go, they think that America would just like fully latch on to Cameron. I don't know about that. But they're convinced, right? Because they see America flirting with Cameron and they're like, she will drop Corey in a second and go work with him. So Cirie tells Blue, you got to buck up. You got to get your mind right. I know it sucks that Jared is gone. You two were very close, but you need to refocus on the game. There's no telling what Cameron will do this week, right? He is a wild card. Blue is hoping that Cameron's going to make a big move as long as it doesn't mess up their games. Cirie is saying, I hear it's going to be Felicia, but she thinks that Cameron would consider taking out Felicia a wasted move, right? So she doesn't believe that that's actually what Cameron wants to do. She feels like maybe it's just a cover. Maybe it's like last time where he was lying to everyone about who he was going to put up. And then it was a total blindside at the nomination ceremony. Maybe he'll target Corey so that he can have America all to himself. Blue would love that, right? Because she's been talking so much crap about Corey in America. She wants Corey out. And she says it would be so crazy if Corey went up on his birthday. Because remember, his birthday is today, Friday. They celebrated it early a few days ago. So Blue tells Cirie, I've got you 100%. Cirie reciprocates. And then Cirie shares some info. She says, Bowie was telling me this morning that if Felicia won HOH, she was planning on putting up me with Cameron. So Cirie feels like Felicia is probably going to push for her to go up on the block this week. And Blue confirms, yes, Felicia was definitely going around to a bunch of people trying to push the whole Jared and Cirie narrative, saying that you both got to go. And Felicia was wondering why people were backing off of the Cirie train. Because remember, before Jared was evicted, Jared and Cirie were the number one and number two targets, right? But then once Jared was in Zombieland, Cirie was able to take more of a back seat and get the target off of her. But Felicia was not happy about it. Felicia was like, why is Cirie not a target anymore? Right? We need to take her out. So then Blue, it's been too long. Blue goes back to talking about Corey in America. She does not think that they were trying in the HOH competition. And Blue's like, you know what? I don't think America's really even that smart. She says, I don't know where this narrative came from that she's smart because what? Because she was a bio major? That means she's smart? They still don't know that she went to Brown, right? She is an Ivy League graduate. But anyway, Blue also says America isn't a girl's girl. She be doing shit for the boys. Here we go again with the girl's girl thing. I cannot. Also, Blue, aren't you the one who has your three closest allies are Jag, Matt, and formerly Jared, who's no longer with us? You're the one who's doing shit for the boys. So get a grip. But anyway, Blue talks about how she's been putting in work with Mimi because she is a girl's girl. Stop saying girl's girl. Cirie and Blue are really hoping that if Felicia does go this week, that they will be able to pull in Mimi, and Mimi is not going to get closer to Corey in America. All right. So anyway, let's move on. Cameron gets his HOH room for the third time. 3 times. And we're only like a little over halfway through the season. Absolutely wild. So Cameron this time got pictures of his mom and his dad and his daughter. His music is Trippie Redd, who apparently is a rapper. I'm really showing my ass right now how old I am. I have no idea who this is. But everybody seemed really excited about it. And then Cameron was offering up his snacks to everyone. Take whatever you want. Whatever. Cirie and Felicia even split one of his beers. Wow. So then Cameron read his letter. It was from his mommy this time. And Cameron was like, she must be so excited because his mom is the biggest Big Brother fan. Cool. Okay. So after Matt, Jag, and Cameron are all celebrating Cameron's win in the HOH room, they're so pumped. Not only did Cameron win, but the fugitives, their three-person alliance, had a strong showing in this competition, right? Matt was second place, Jag was close behind him. So Cameron says, I almost felt like a dick for winning this competition, right? Like, I want to give you guys a chance too. But he feels like it would have looked really weird if he threw it to Matt, right? That kind of would have been a dead giveaway that they're working together. Yeah. So these three are in bro mode, right? It's bro town. It is Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House. That is very much the feel that they are putting out there right now. They're super excited. They're big upping their alliance and they're like, oh my God, we're so great. Everyone is going to try and drive us apart, bro. They're going to come for us. But they said it doesn't even matter because we are together. Cameron says we're rocking this thing all the way to the end. And he says, America, the country, not the player here. America deserves this. He says, after all the shit we've been through this season, people yelling at their TV screens, get together, work together this whole time. We're finally working together. That's definitely not what I've been yelling at my TV screen, but okay, if that's what you want to think. And Matt's like, yeah, they're all excited to see us like cracking open these beers together. Oh my God. So then they start talking about how many competitions they've all won. And honestly, though, they're right about that because out of everybody left in this game right now, they have won all of the competitions except for two. I'm talking about POV and HOH, not like the competitions on the first episode. They have won all of them except for two. The only other winners here are Corey and Felicia, right? So, like, they really do hold all the power pretty much at this point. Blah. But Cameron says, yeah, so Felicia came and talked to me earlier and she was really pissed. She had an attitude with me. She knows she's going up on the block. And Cameron's like, what are we thinking for next week? Who are we aiming at? He says this week is easy, right? He wants to stay with his plan and target Felicia. They think that they're going to have a pretty easy time of doing that. They'll just win all the competitions and take her out. So Matt says, I guess next week could be either Mimi or Corey. Cameron's like, okay, cool. I wanted to see where y'all are at on Corey. He says, I love Corey. You know, I've been rocking with him since day 2. He's great, but he's really dangerous from this point on. Now that we're getting so close to jury, we're going to have to get him out of here. So Cameron says, I'm not pitching him to y'all. I'm not saying you have to target him. This is a collective understanding. So, like, whatever you think is best, we're all going to make this decision together. But he wants to put it out there. Honestly, I think that Matt and Jag would be okay with Corey going soon. More Matt than Jag, but I think Jag would be okay with it. But those two do not want to be the ones to do it, right? They were banking on Cameron taking out Corey later in the game. And it's ironic because these two were whining the last few days that, oh, we're doing Corey's dirty work. He wouldn't have taken out Jared without us, blah, blah, blah. So they're doing the same thing, right? They do not want to be the ones to take out Corey, especially with jury starting, right? You don't want people to be mad at you. So Jag says, I could see a case for like Mimi leaving next week after Felicia. You're going to target Mimi next? Why? What are you doing? And Jag is asking, how dangerous is Corey really to the three of us? And Cameron's like, well, I'm pretty sure Corey's going to target me. Pretty sure. Absolutely. And he says Corey is going to have to go. So Cameron says, on the other hand, Cirie, who we were looking at before, Cirie's okay. She has no secrets. Why would you say she has no secrets? She definitely has secrets. But anyway, Cirie is not really a target for them right now. Cameron confirms he will be putting Mimi up next to Felicia this week. And he says Mimi is going to know that we don't want her out. She will know that she is a pawn. She's just going up because she's close to Felicia, right? We don't want to risk her winning the veto and using it to save Felicia. We don't want her to be voting for Felicia to stay. So it's just easier to put her up next to her. So again, going back to next week's plans, Matt says it'd be really good if Blue wins HOH because she really wants Corey out of here. She would get him out. But then they're talking about how Blue is only out for herself. They've been saying this the last few days. They feel like Blue while she's saying she would target Corey, that may be the case. But after Corey is gone, she'll put up anyone at any time, right? She's not truly loyal to anyone else in this house except for herself. So Jag, this is interesting. This is really, I was surprised when I heard this. Jag starts pitching that Bowie should be the fourth for their alliance instead of Blue. You know how they want to have like the Britney to their brigade, and at first it was looking like it was going to be Blue. Now Jag is saying it should be Bowie. They all agree Bowie is a team player. Cameron says, "Oh, she's the Mac." I guess that means like Mac Daddy. I don't know, but yeah, my husband is nodding yes. They feel like Bowie is going to be their solid fourth. She just wants to be included in things, and they feel like she's going to be loyal to their group. And again, they're saying Blue is always going to choose herself, whereas Bowie will choose the team and put the team first. So then Cameron and Jag are saying, if we take Corey out, Blue is going to target us, right? Because she's targeting Corey right now. Once he's gone, she's going to go for the next big threats. So Matt is like, you know what? You're right. That makes sense. And he figures Blue is probably going to want to take Sari to the end. And we know that Blue has been saying she wants to go to the final four with Matt, Jag, and Sari, right? But I don't know who she wants to take to the final two. But would she go with Sari? I think that would be pretty dumb on her part. But I'm not really sure what her end game plan is there. But these guys agree. Sari, they do not want her getting to the end. They feel like that would be a huge blunder. I would have to agree with that. But they don't feel like she's a target right now. They have other bigger fish to fry. They're not worried about her at this point. So it looks like Sari could be sitting pretty for a bit. So then these guys have narrowed their targets for next week down to either Corey, America, Blue, or Mimi. So then they're like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't take out Corey, because if we take out Felicia this week and then Corey, they're really worried that the rest of the women are going to band together and target them, minus Bowie, because Bowie's with them. So they're like, Mimi, Blue, America, they're all going to work together and they're going to come after us. Oh my God, these three have won 0 competitions and they're like freaking out and so worried about them. So this fear is making them think, you know what? Let's keep Corey around for a bit. Let's keep him around as a target for the women. And let's take out either Mimi or Blue next week. And again, this is for next week. They want Felicia out this week. So Cameron is going over his boot order. He says Felicia this week, then Mimi, then Blue, Corey, America, Sari, and Bowie to leave them in the final 3. That's all fine and dandy, I guess. No, it's not. But that's, they're planning way ahead here. It always cracks me up when people plan out their boot orders way in advance like that. But would Jag and Matt actually go through with this? Because I don't think this would be a good move for them. But anyway, while those 3 were talking and strategizing, let's talk about what the other house guests were doing. Everybody else was singing happy birthday to Corey because it was after midnight and he is now 22. Happy birthday, Corey. Yay. Okay. But it was so funny because Sari was in the other room when they started singing and she hears them singing the song and she's just like, oh God, come on. And then in the same breath, she starts singing as well and walks into the room. And it just reminded me of this thing that stuck with me from the Elton John movie where he's like all messed up and he's about to go on stage. I talk about this all the time. We call this grabbing the baseball bat. It's when you're like, you don't have the energy to do something, but then you like know you have to do it. So you just like put on the smile and like grab the baseball bat and go out on stage. It makes me think of that. But yeah, it was one of those moments and it definitely cracked me up. And I hope we get to see it on the episode. So Corey's like, oh my God, thank you so much, everybody. I kind of forgot that it was even my birthday because we already celebrated a few days ago. Plus, it was such a crazy day, with the zombie competition and everything, whatever. So anyway, moving on. A little later, Blue talks to the cameras in the scary bedroom and she's like, I'm going through my emotions. And she says she's fine, until people start asking, how she's doing. And then she breaks down and she starts crying. But she says it's a good thing because she knows that she's surrounded by good people here and they really do care about her. And she says this was also kind of a blessing in disguise because it has kickstarted her relationship with Suri. So, other than Suri, she feels like she does trust Matt and Jag a lot, which is funny because now Matt and Jag are starting to turn on her. But she's really hoping that Cameron is going to target Corey this week. She can tell he seems hell bent on Felicia, but she's hoping that Cameron will change his mind and target Corey. She says the thing that she's gonna miss the most about Jared is strategizing. She really liked running through scenarios with him. She says they had so much fun doing that together. That's that. Okay, I think there's probably some other things she's gonna miss too, but anyway. Corey and America had a late night game chat, and America starts making the case for Mimi to go this week instead of Felicia. Interesting. She says Mimi has better connections with people. She's more likely to win competitions than Felicia. And Corey's like, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. He sees the logic behind it. It makes sense. And he's like, honestly, I don't really care who goes between Felicia and Mimi. But he feels like this is more of a conversation to have after the Power Veto ceremony once the nominations are set, because you don't want to like talk about all this stuff too early and then it gets out there. But yeah, it looks like America will be pushing this week for Mimi to go if Mimi and Felicia are still up on the block after the veto. All right, so that was all last night. This morning, Felicia is chatting with Suri. They're the only two awake so far, and Felicia's like, I feel like I could be going up, because when she was talking to Cameron the night before, he didn't like say anything reassuring to her to indicate that she wouldn't be going up. Yeah, it's probably not a good sign. She was asking Suri, like, did he say anything to you? And Suri's like, he told me that I'm good and like he's got me. So, uh-oh. But Felicia is not losing hope yet, right? She's hoping that Cameron is going to do another fake out, maybe put up like Matt and Jag, make a big move. So she doesn't, I guess she doesn't realize how close Cameron, Matt, and Jag have gotten at this point. But a little later, Suri is alone in the dining area and she's talking out loud, or thinking out loud. I guess you would always be talking out loud, right? She's thinking out loud and saying, oh, I miss my boy already. And she says, Cameron, please go after Corey. I'm losing my mind. Please go after Corey. She says, I will help you. I will pack his bags for you. Just let that be your agenda so that I can assist you in that. And then I can go happily. Suri, stop it. She says, I want Corey to go first, though, right? Before she leaves. So what she's saying here is that she just wants revenge on Corey for taking out Jared, and then she doesn't care anymore. Buck up, right? But honestly, I don't think that Suri is serious about leaving after Corey goes. I think she's just saying that because she's feeling a little bit down right now. But we saw last time she did that, she snapped out of it. So why is my Siri?
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, stop. Okay. Stop listening to me. How do I turn this off? We're good. It's never happened to me before. But anyway. I am a millennial, yes. No, I'm a vampire. I'm actually like 3,000 years old. But yeah, I don't think Suri, I think she's gonna get it together, right? But right now she's just feeling down. Okay. So anyway, Cameron starts doing his one-on-ones in preparation for nominations, and I just want to go through some highlights here. So he talked to Bowie first, and Cameron let her know, yes, the plan is still to put up Mimi and Felicia, with Felicia being the target. We knew that, right? Cameron says, Bowie, I feel like you've always been here for me. It's so funny because people online keep saying that they think that Bowie and Cameron are going to end up together like a Memphis Christmas situation. And honestly, I could kind of see it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he feels like Bowie has always been there for him. So Bowie's like, cool. Who should I trust in here? So obviously Cameron is like me, but also Matt and Jag, because again, Cameron, Matt, and Jag want Bowie to be their fourth, the first layer outside of their alliance. So then Bowie is like, well, what about Blue? Are we working with her? What's the deal? And Cameron's like, you should be careful with Blue. Be careful what you share with her, right? Because she's got a big mouth. And keep your distance from her a little bit, right? Don't get too close to her. So at one point during this conversation, Bowie also wants to know what happens if the power veto is used, right? What if Mimi or Felicia come off the block? And Cameron's like, I don't think that there's a high chance of that happening, but if it does, I don't have a backdoor plan, right? He would be putting up a replacement nominee, but whoever is still up on the block would most likely still be the target. And he says, we'll figure it out if it comes to that, right? He doesn't want to be putting that out into the universe. So, anyway, let's talk about Felicia's one on one with Cameron. Cameron lets her know that the night before Red was evicted, Jared told him that Felicia was trying to flip the vote to evict Red, like basically saying that she was responsible for Red getting evicted. So if you remember, Jared was trying to place all the blame on Felicia when it was not really her fault. But yeah, this is coming back to bite Felicia, right? And she's like, oh crap, the people that I thought that I could trust the most were throwing me under the bus. So Felicia has a gut feeling that she's going up on the block, and she says this. Yes. And Cameron basically confirms without saying it that yes, she will be going up. So Felicia's like, all right, what's going on here? I'm your biggest threat. And Cameron's like, not necessarily my biggest threat, but you are the greatest persuader in the house. So Felicia's like, hold up a second. There is a great persuader in the house, but it's not me. And she says, I figured it out. It's Suri. Duh. But yeah, some people are not picking up on this, right? So she's still trying to throw Suri under the bus. It's not working. But at one point in this convo, Cameron also brings up, he's like, if I was in the final two, would you vote for me to win? What kind of question is this? Of course she's going to say yes, which she does. And she's like, yeah, I would vote for you. You've played a hell of a game, son. She doesn't say son. But Felicia wants to know who's going up on the block next to me. And Cameron is not sharing that information. He does tell her later that it's going to be Mimi, but at this point, he's like, no, I'm not telling you. So later, Mimi gets her chance to talk to Cameron, and Cameron is like, I don't want to beat around the bush. Let's cut through the bullshit. He basically lets her know, yes, you're going to be going up on the block, but you are just a pawn. He says, we all love you. You're going to be safe. Even if the veto is used and you're still up there, you're going to be safe. So Mimi's just like, okay, sure. Actually, I think the feeds like cut out during that conversation. We didn't get to hear everything they talked about. But another one-on-one of note, Blue had her turn and she was pushing for Corey to be the target this week, saying, I need Corey out. He's using other people to do his dirty work. I'm just so tired of this argument. It's so annoying because Corey literally won HOH and put Jared up on the block. How is that not him not doing his own dirty work? It's too much. But anyway, Felicia was not done with Cameron. Felicia had another chat with Cameron. It did not go well. Felicia was asking him, what's your plan moving forward? Like, how do you see yourself getting to the end? What's your path there? And she's asking, like, do you think you could potentially trust me enough to play the game with me? And Cameron says, no, I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see myself working with you. Damn. So he also told her at one point, I don't want you on the jury because I think you'd have a lot of influence. And again, Felicia's saying, I would vote for you to win. And I'm not just saying that. And then Felicia says, I'm going to be frank with you. And the feed's cut. So we lose part of this conversation. But we find out later that during that time, Felicia was pitching to Cameron that Corey should go this week so that Cameron could get closer to America. Oof. And we found this out when Cameron was telling America about it. And Cameron was like, what's going on here? Why is she saying this? Maybe because you freak out anytime you see Corey and America hanging out with each other. Like, it's a lot. Everybody can tell that you're into her. But yeah, Cameron was not happy about Felicia trying to pitch this and like calling this out essentially. And he was telling America, like, don't talk about me because he's assuming, oh, America must have said something to make Felicia think that he would do this. So he wasn't happy about it. Felicia is also not happy that she's going to be going up against Mimi, right? She was hoping she'd be up against Sari or somebody, or Corey, somebody else, but not Mimi. So it's going to be tough for them if they're up on the block next to each other by the end of the week. But then the feeds went down for nominations, and they actually came back right before we started. So I'm seriously just going to like check Twitter real quick and just get some confirmation here. I'm pretty sure that it's Felicia and Mimi up on the block, but I just want to make sure. Let's just get that confirmation. Yes, Cameron nominated Felicia and Mimi. So that's that. We're gonna see what happens with the power veto competition tomorrow. It's so weird, like having all these game things again. I just 1 week off from it. It feels so weird now. Like, oh yeah, they play the veto next. So we'll see what happens there. Wouldn't it be wild if Felicia or Mimi did pull out a competition win? I want the chaos, so let's see it. I also don't want Felicia to leave. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching today. I want to thank our super chatters because you're all amazing. So Susan Pengilly, thank you so much. Yes, vlog. Jack D65, thank you. Jack says $2 for a holla. Oh, accounting for inflation. We love it. Thank you so much. Wendy Will, thank you for the super chat. Mary Ellen L, thank you so much as always. Benjamin, thank you. Benjamin says, imagine if the Jag Cam evictions weren't canceled. Yeah, right? Every future HOH would be so unpredictable, but now it's just going to be a Cam, Jag, Matt steamroll. It really would be wild, right? If those evictions went through and all these comp beasts were out, it would be very, very interesting to see how the game would change without them. And I'm kind of sad that we were robbed of that, right? I want that unpredictability with the competitions, but guess we're not going to get that. But thank you again. David Cushmore, thank you so much. David asks, are you glad that Cameron won instead of Jared from last night's competition? I have to say yes. I was not a huge fan of Jared. I think that was pretty apparent. But also, I'm excited to see Sari play on her own without Jared. That is also a part of it. I am by no means a Cameron fan. I just want to put that out there. But I was hoping that Cameron would stay over Jared. All right. Mark Pirjalo, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Connor Benson, thank you so much. Connor says, honestly, if Cameron made it to final two, I'd vote for him easily. I can separate game from personal, and regardless of what he said, his back was always against the wall. He fought and saved himself. Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there. Unless Cameron does something like incredibly atrocious, right? I would have to agree he probably should win if he makes it to the final two, because he has been a target for so long and he's been able to evade eviction. But also, now that I'm thinking about it, he was evicted and he stayed with a twist. So depending on who he's next to, maybe I would change my mind on that, because it's kind of hard for me to reconcile someone who's been evicted winning the whole thing. So, okay, it would depend for me, but I see what you're saying and I agree to a certain degree. David Cushmore, oh, thank you again. He says, who do you want to see go in the next eviction? Should they go after Blue or Sari next? Honestly, who would I like to? You mean like for this week or for next week? Because for next week, I'd like to see Cameron go. But for this week, I would be fine with like someone going who's not really doing much. I think Mimi is a lovely, wonderful person, but she hasn't really brought much to the game. And I want to see the drama and the chaos. So I would be fine with Mimi leaving this week just to set ourselves up for more drama in the future. No offense to Mimi. Sean Davis, thank you so much. Sean says, Jared is delusional, saying he was single this whole time. Blue has some nerve saying everyone is playing a character. Yeah, I did see, I didn't like get to listen to Jared's interviews yet, but I did see one short clip from his interview with Taylor. And she was asking like what the deal was with his girlfriend on the outside. And he said that they broke up like a month before he came in. But like he kept shouting her out on the feeds and like saying how much he loves her and all this stuff. So it was like, I don't know. I don't know about all that. But anyway, He's out of the house now, so I don't really care. Once these people leave the house, gone from my mind. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow for more. So thank you. Have a great Friday night. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody.